Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live. Let's now take you to Karnataka, where President of India Draupadi Murmu is speaking at the inauguration of KLE Cancer Hospital at Belagavi.
Minister for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, New and Renewable Energy, Sri Prahlad Joshi, Minister for Medical Education and Skill Development, Government of Karnataka, Dr. Sharan Prakash Patil ji, Minister of Public Works Department, Sri Satish Jarkioli ji, former Chief Minister of Karnataka and Member of Parliament from Belagavi, Sri Jagdish Shettar ji, Chairman KLE Education Society, Dr. Prabhakar Pore ji, Sri Mahantesh Koijaligi, President KLE Society, Belagavi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I find this occasion to be very important as it is related to taking care of cancer patients, a very noble cause indeed. I congratulate everyone associated with the setting up of this cancer hospital, which provides comprehensive cancer care services under one roof. I am told that the state-of-the-art technologies used in this hospital will ensure swift and precise treatment for cancer with minimal side effects. I am confident that with a wide range of specialties, this cancer hospital will make an important contribution in delivering high-quality cancer treatment to those in need. According to a global study, cancer is a leading cause of death in the world. In 2022, there were an estimated 20 million new cancer cases and 9.7 million deaths worldwide. In India, the incidence of cancer is about 100 patients for every 1 lakh people. As per a study done by ICMR, cancer incidence in India is estimated to increase by about 13% in 2025 as compared to 2020. The setting up of state-of-the-art cancer hospital in Belagavi is a significant step in the direction of delivering specialized cancer treatment and palliative care of the people. When someone is diagnosed with cancer, this itself has a devastating effect on the patients and their family members. In addition to the treatment, what they need is a ray of hope, a gentle touch, a dose of empathy. It is the duty of healthcare professionals to provide comprehensive care that addresses the physical and psychological needs of the cancer patients. Every word of sympathy and compassion that a doctor utters has the power to change the life of his patient for better. It is the power to rekindle in a patient the desire to live. Every doctor, more so a doctor taking care of a cancer patient, should strive to become a kind-hearted healthcare professional after taking to whom the patient not only become well informed about the treatment but also feel reassured. This can lead to a better health outcomes, enhanced patient satisfaction, and an overall positive experiences for them. Ladies and gentlemen, the Government of India has undertaken several initiatives to improve healthcare access and affordability, such as the Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana. This national health insurance scheme, with a wide coverage and huge impact, has made a remarkable contribution in improving the quality of life of millions of people. According to a globally respected medical journal, there has been a significant improvement in timely initiation of cancer treatment because of Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana. The duration between diagnosis of cancer and beginning of treatment has been reduced compared to the period before launch of this scheme. This is mainly for low-income groups. Now the scope of this scheme has been expanded to include all senior citizens aged 70 and above. This will help the senior citizens get affordable health care services for several diseases including cancer. Another important thing to remember is the need to spread more and more awareness regarding the causes, diagnosis and treatment of cancer. We come across many such cases where either due to ignorance of the patient and family or due to financial constraint, the diagnosis and treatment of diseases are delayed. In case of cancer, this can prove fatal. I urge you all to remember that the fight against disease such as cancer is a collective effort. Let us all work together to create a healthcare system that is patient-centric and equitable along with being world-class. I will mention an important aspect of healthcare where families and society have to play a greater role. We have seen that in some families, the health of boys is given more importance than that of girls. This different treatment is also seen later with respect to men and women. Many a time, the women of a family do not get timely diagnosis and treatment for their health issues. This may be due to the traditional mindset where addressing their health issues does not figure as the priority of the family, including the women themselves. Any such delay, especially in case of cancer, can be critical. I urge every household to encourage women to share their problems. Every member of the family and society as a whole need to take the health of women more seriously and contribute proactively in taking care of them and facilitating appropriate timely treatment for them. Ladies and gentlemen, the KLE Society has been working for over a century to provide quality education, health, and agriculture-related services to the people. I am happy to know that more than 50% of the KLE institutions are located in semi-urban and rural areas. To the students and young medical professionals present here, I would like to say that as future healthcare leaders, you have the power to shape the future of healthcare services in India. Remember that your profession is not just a job, but a calling to serve the society, serve the humanity. You should strive to be compassionate and innovative while serving the nation with utmost sincerity. I extend my best wishes to all of you for a bright future and a fulfilling life. May you be able to save precious lives. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
That was President of India Draupadi Murmu at the inauguration ceremony of the KLE Cancer Hospital in Karnataka's Belagavi. And now let's tell you how the situation is unfolding in South Korea. A tense standoff in South Korea as authorities attempted to arrest impeached President Yoon over his failed martial law declaration. Well, the dramatic events unfolded at his official residence, raising questions about democracy and accountability in the nation. A report.
South Korean investigators have called off their attempt to arrest impeached President Yoon after a 6-hour standoff at his residence. The confrontation involving Yoon's Presidential Security Service and military personnel ended with authorities citing safety concerns for their withdrawal. The scene outside Yoon's residence was chaotic. About 2,700 police officers and 135 buses formed barricades as hundreds of Yoon's supporters, including far-right activists and evangelical preachers, gathered in protest, chanting slogans like illegal warrant is invalid. Inside, investigators faced off with security forces protecting Yoon. Negotiations failed, and the Corruption Investigation Office eventually declared the arrest effectively impossible due to the risk of escalation.
I question whether the issuance of such an illegal warrant aligns with the principles of the rule of law. It is our position that this unlawful arrest warrant request is illegal and invalid. The declaration of martial law is a power granted to the President under the Constitution. The President exercised this authority legitimately as part of their duty to protect the constitutional order of the nation.
Meanwhile, South Korea's Constitutional Court announced it will hold its first arguments in Yoon's impeachment trial on January 14. The president is required to appear in court for the session. A second hearing is scheduled for January 16 in case of non-compliance. Yoon's arrest warrant, valid until Monday, now hangs in limbo. His legal team has also challenged the warrant in the Constitutional Court. While Yoon supporters rallied for his survival, anti-Yoon demonstrators clashed nearby, accusing him of dragging the nation into political chaos. Yoon, suspended from duty following his impeachment by lawmakers, faced his controversial December 3 martial law declaration. If convicted, he could face imprisonment or even the death penalty. Despite ignoring 3 summons for questioning, Yoon remains defiant, vowing to fight authorities. Nancy Baloda's report for DD India.
And the South Korea plane crash probe intensifies as investigators on Friday began lifting the wreckage of the Jeju airplane that crashed 5 days ago, killing 179 people. Police conducted a series of raids on Thursday and Friday at the offices of Jeju Air and the Muan airport operator as they stepped up their probe. South Korea has also announced the inspection of all Boeing 737-800 aircraft operated by its carriers, focusing on the landing gear, which appears to have malfunctioned during the Sunday's crash. However, the exact cause of the flight's crash is still unknown. Authorities are also analyzing the flight data recorder, with US experts examining wreckage and reviewing 107 recovered mobile phones for clues. Staying with the country, a multi-storied building was engulfed in fire and thick smoke in the city of Seongam in South Korea on Friday. The fire department said that 12 people had been sent to hospital for smoke inhalation. It further added that about 30 people were trapped in the building, and those who were trapped in the building have been safely evacuated. A total of 82 firefighting vehicles were deployed to bring the blaze under control after the fire started in a restaurant on the ground floor of the building, which also housed a swimming pool where children take classes. On to Europe now. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock is in Syria for a day visit alongside her French counterpart, Jean-Noël Barrot, representing the European Union. The European leaders will meet with Ahmad al-Shara, the leader of Syria's new rulers. This is the first visit by top EU diplomats since rebels took control of Damascus on December 8th, ending Bashar al-Assad's 13-year rule. Led by Shara's Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the new rulers are working to reassure the international community that they will govern for all Syrians and not promote an Islamist revolution. The European Union confirmed on Thursday that gas supplies across Europe remain stable, except in Moldova. Deliveries of Russian gas to Europe via Ukraine pipeline stopped on Wednesday after Kiev refused to renew a decades-long arrangement that earned billions of dollars for both countries. While Russian gas now accounts for less than 10% of EU's imports, down from over 40% before Russia-Ukraine conflict, some eastern member states remain reliant on it. Slovakia faces escalating tensions with Kiev after Ukrainian authorities halted Russian gas transits to Slovakia, a move Prime Minister Robert Fico condemned as sabotage. Fico warned of retaliation, including cutting electricity exports to Ukraine and reducing support for Ukrainian refugees. Slovakia's state gas importer estimates an additional €90 million in transit fees this year.
After the delegation returns from Brussels, I will convene the Coalition Council. On behalf of the Slovak social democracy, I announce that we are ready to negotiate and agree in a coalition to stop electricity supplies and significantly reduce subsidies for citizens of Ukraine. The only alternative for a sovereign Slovakia is the restoration of transit or the demand for compensation mechanisms that will replace the shortfalls in public finances after the amount of almost 500 million euros.
Moving to the US now, where visitors are back on the Bourbon Street, the tourist artery of New Orleans, where the deadly New Year's attack took place. The suspect has been identified and is believed to have acted alone. More in this report.
The tourist artery of New Orleans, the Bourbon Street, glimmered back to life less than 36 hours after the deadly New Year's Eve assault. Tourists and youth came out in throngs after the street was declared open by the police.
In New Orleans, this is what we do. We celebrate life during, before, and after, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate what happened, but this is what we do in the city of New Orleans.
Today feels like a completely normal day back on Bourbon Street. Obviously think about all the victims and the families, but I feel safe. I think it's probably the safest and cleanest Bourbon Street will ever be that I will see. And just still praying for the victims, and I feel safe, and the police presence is huge.
I mean, like I said, I've lived here 62 years, and we've always, we can't let nothing hold us down. Like, I've been here through Katrina and all, so we could get right back up and running.
A US Army veteran with an ISIS flag on his truck swerved around makeshift barriers and plowed into New Orleans' crowded French Quarter on New Year's, killing at least 14 people. The suspect was shot dead at the scene after firing at police. He has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar. The suspect had pledged allegiance to ISIS on his social media account on the morning of the attack. FBI is now seeking more information from the public on him. It released a poster featuring surveillance stills as part of its investigation. The search for more accomplices ended effectively as the FBI said that the suspect had acted alone.
This was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated and an evil act. We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar.
US President Joe Biden warned that ISIS shall find no safe harbor there.
People in New Orleans are sending an unmistakable message. They will not let this attack or the attackers with his deluded ideology overcome us. None of us should fear that he'll overcome us. We're going to continue to relentlessly pursue ISIS and other terrorist organizations where they are, and they'll find no safe harbor here. I'll continue to provide updates in New Orleans and Las Vegas as the facts develop.
US President-elect Donald Trump has blamed the situation at the southern border of the recent attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas, railing against President Biden for his immigration policies as both cases are being investigated. As New Orleans limps back to normal and people have come out in numbers to the Bourbon Street, the memory of those who perished in the senseless act will remain etched in the memory of the people in New Orleans and elsewhere. Antara Sinha, DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. India's Prime Minister inaugurates key slum rehabilitation project, among others, in New Delhi, says the initiatives reflect his government's commitment to empower Delhi's populace. India and the Maldives finalize a framework to promote the use of local currencies for cross-border trade. And Sunday's Golden Globes to launch Hollywood's awards festivities this year.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja.
In line with his commitment of housing for all, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday inaugurated 1,675 newly constructed flats for the economically weaker sections at Swabhiman Apartments in Delhi's Ashok Vihar. Also, the Prime Minister handed over keys to eligible beneficiaries. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Modi urged Delhi residents to reach out to those still living in slums and to assure them on his behalf that if not today, then tomorrow, they will surely get a pakka house.
मैं आप सबको भी कहता हूं, आप जब भी लोगों के बीच जाएं, लोगों को मिलें और अभी भी जो लोग झुग्गी झोपड़ी में रहते हैं, मेरी तरफ से उनको वादा करके आना, मेरे लिए तो आप ही मोदी है। वादा करके आना, आज नहीं तो कल उनके लिए पक्का घर बनेगा, उनको पक्का घर मिलेगा।
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inspected the newly constructed flats for the slum dwellers. Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated other key development projects, including the World Trade Center at the Naroji Nagar and the General Pool Residential Accommodation Type 2 quarters at Sarojini Nagar, both in New Delhi. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Maldivian counterpart Abdullah Khalil in New Delhi today. The two leaders discussed development cooperation, economic, security, fintech, people-to-people ties. Both leaders also signed agreement on implementing the next phase of high-impact community development projects in Maldives. A delegation-level talk was also held between Dr. Jaishankar and his Maldivian counterpart in New Delhi earlier today. In a media briefing on Friday, India's External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal responded to China's announcement of two new counties in Hotan Prefecture, which fall within India's Union Territory of Ladakh. India has lodged a solemn protest with China through diplomatic channels.
We have seen the announcement pertaining to the establishment of two new counties in Hotan Prefecture of China. Parts of jurisdiction of these so-called counties fall in India's Union Territory of Ladakh. We have never accepted the illegal Chinese occupation of Indian territory in this area. Creation of new counties will neither have a bearing on India's long-standing and consistent position regarding our sovereignty over the area, nor lend legitimacy to China's illegal and forcible occupation of the same. We have lodged a solemn protest with the Chinese side through diplomatic channels on this matter.
The Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson also said that India has raised its concerns over a hydropower project on the Yarlung Tsangpo River in Tibet Autonomous Region of China. India has emphasized the need for transparency and consultation with downstream countries.
We have seen the information released by Xinhua on 25th December 2024 regarding a hydropower project on the Yarlung Tsangpo River in the Tibet Autonomous Region of China. As a lower riparian state with established user rights to the waters of the river, we have consistently expressed through expert level as well as diplomatic channels our views and concerns to the Chinese side over mega projects on rivers in their territory. These have been reiterated along with the need for transparency and consultation with downstream countries following the latest report. The Chinese side has been urged to ensure that the interests of downstream states of the Brahmaputra are not harmed by activities in upstream areas. We will continue to monitor and take necessary measures to protect our interests.
In a major development for Oman's mining sector, the Sultanate has recommenced copper exports after a 30-year break with its first shipment of 900 tons of copper concentrates from the La Salle mine in Sohar. The project, overseen by Minerals Development Oman, marks a crucial step in the nation's economic diversification efforts. The milestone carries particular historical weight as the region boasts a 3,000-year legacy of copper mining, including operations by the Oman Mining Company since 1983. According to US media reports, Biden administration has decided to block the purchase of US steel by Japan's Nippon Steel on Friday, feared to impact the bilateral ties between Japan and the US, as Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba had urged Biden to approve the proposed $14.9 billion deal. While the deal had overwhelming support of the United States steel shareholders, the decision was made by the government in line with strong opposition from the US Steel Workers Union and politicians. And next we take a look at what else is making news around the world. Ho Chi Minh City shined as Vietnam's top tourist spot in 2024, welcoming 44 million visitors and earning $7.5 million despite economic challenges. The city also earned several prestigious awards, including Best Festival Destination, Top Destination in Asia, and inclusion in the top 25 must-visit places in 2025. A bomb attack at a security checkpoint in Patani, Thailand, injured 6 police officers and a child. All victims were taken to nearby hospital for treatment, with the child suffering minor injuries. Officials suspect that it was meant to stir unrest amid the region's insurgency anniversary. Over 200 critically endangered baby red handfish were hatched in Hobart, Australia, tripling the captive population. These tiny fish will undergo training before being released into Tasmania's wild next year to aid conservation efforts. The 82nd edition of Golden Globes is scheduled to take place on Sunday, kicking off the 2025 Hollywood Awards festivities. Films such as Wicked, The Brutalist, Emilia Perez will be competing for trophies and attention ahead of Oscars. DD India's Diptanshu Kashyap reports.
The 2025 award season begins on Sunday with the 82nd Annual Golden Globe Awards, honoring the best in film and television. The Netflix film Emilia Perez leads the race with 10 nominations, followed by The Brutalist with 7. The Bear leads television series with 5 nods, followed by Shogun and Only Murders in the Building with 4 each. The nominations were announced on December 9th by actors Morris Chestnut and Mindy Kaling. This year's ceremony will be hosted for the first time by comedian Nikki Glaser.
I'm feeling really good about the job that I have to do, the material I've written, that my team has written. I feel like we're just in good shape. I'm really excited just to show these jokes to a massive audience. It's really I've been working on this art project that I'm I can't wait to show people.
Some of the nominated films include A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Anora, Challengers, and The Substance. Timothy Chalamet, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Angelina Jolie are among the stars vying for acting honors. The ceremony is especially significant for India, as Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine as Light has received 2 nominations, including Best Director for Kapadia, marking the first nomination for an Indian production.
On our show, the nominees from television, from movies, come together. They're major stars, and it's like throwing a party at your home. Who would you like to have at your house if you could have anybody? And we've got them every year.
Winners of the Globes are chosen by 334 entertainment journalists from 85 countries. Winning a Globe can boost a film's chances in the run-up to the Academy Awards in March. Diptanshu Kashyap's report for DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live, and you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.